watched a lot of film on these guys this year and last year, and most of their games are played grinding it out. That's a really good team we played, a great defensive team we played. It was pretty much the pace of the way they wanted it most of the night, but, as I was just saying on the radio, we don't really mind playing that way. I mean, we'd like it to go a little bit faster, but, Tennessee game was very similar to this. So we had a little bit of experience, but pretty much every time out, I just kept telling the team, whoever's defense is better tonight is who's going to win. This is a defensive battle, and whoever's going to out-rebound the other team, who's going to give up a few second shots, which team's going to give up some second shots, it won't be successful because the shots were hard to come by. Good shots were hard to come by. And we concentrated the past 2 days on rebounding. We did a lot of things in the past 2 days to try to improve our rebounding, from drills to watching film to talking to a lot of things the past 2 days to try to correct some of the things that I thought hurt us at Virginia Tech. And the most positive thing is I thought a couple of things that we really concentrated on coming out. That's pretty much what we did tonight is positives. Offense still, not clicking. We're doing some things. Tonight we forced some things we shouldn't have forced. We got a little bit out of our element, tried to force a few things, but I give more of their defense credit than us just bad offense. But we got to get better offensively, and we will. But if we continue to play defense and we can bottle up what we did rebounding tonight, then we might have a chance to be an okay team.
Do you think they were kind of keying on O'Brien, I guess? Or do you think it was more of him just not having a good night?
No, it was just one of those nights. In a game like this, when you get in foul trouble and you have to sit out, you are not going to get in the flow. It's impossible. I mean, in a game like this, if you're not able to stay out there for a long period of time and get a sweat going and get a feel for their defense, it's hard to get going. And he had to sit out. Both halves. Played 22 minutes, which obviously is not very many for him. And that was it. That was all it is. Was just it's hard to get in the flow in a game like that. Very difficult.
What do you think about Jurek?
Oh, what I loved about it, you should have seen the guys in the lot, how excited they are for him. We went into this game the last couple of days trying to get him the ball more. We want him to score a little bit more. And you saw us probably feeding him the ball a little bit more. I actually ran some plays, which I hadn't all year long, never ran a play for him. We ran about 2 or 3 different plays for him tonight to try to get the basketball. Trying to just build his confidence up, because I continue to tell him he does lack in confidence. We believe in him more than he believes in himself, but we've challenged him as far as rebounding and how to rebound and what type of rebounds we need from him. And he responded. When we can get a performance from a big man like that, because we got some of the best guards in the country, I believe, then that just helps our team be that much better.
Was that putback design for him, or was that,
excuse me?
Was that putback design?
Yeah, I designed that putback all along. Wow, that was impressive. That's very impressive.
Talk about what he brings to your defense, to beyond the rebounding and everything. He just seems like he alters shots.
He alters shots. He has a great presence about him. He understands the game really well. Now, that you may not always mind, because as we tell him, he kind of gets out there and kind of starts daydreaming sometimes. And we tell him, you know the game too well not to always be active, not to always be involved and be engaged. We got to keep him engaged all the time. And when he's engaged, he really understands what's happening. He understands timing of when a guy comes off a ball screen. He really understands how to time it as a guy's coming along. He understands how to, guard 2 people at once sometimes when we're doing some different things on defense. But he definitely brings a presence about it. We've seen it from day one, and I still attribute a lot of it to the 50, 55 pounds that he lost. I mean, he's just so much quicker and faster than he was. I mean, he's like a different guy.
Physically, how good of a sign is that dump that he's able to spring up? I mean, is that after the injury that he had, is that?
It's him being out there is impressive to me, but that's something we haven't seen in practice or anything. He usually lays them up in practice. Even in drills, he usually doesn't dunk. It takes him a while to get warmed up. But no, we have not seen that from him. I've not seen that.
Only 2 fouls for him too. On a great night. Is he learning to play without getting in foul trouble like maybe he would last year?
Yeah, a little bit more. This is a different game. They didn't throw it to his man very much at all. Most of his stuff came from helping off weak side, and he never was put into a one-on-one position, which that's when he can get a few fouls. The way they ran their offense, he wasn't involved on the ball a whole lot. Most of his things came off the ball.
What did you see from Cobbins today, getting 20 minutes on the floor?
Better than last game. he made a couple nice moves, and then you could see he hadn't been playing in 4 and 5 weeks too, certain things. But again, you're talking about a guy who did not step on the court for 4 weeks, and this week was probably the first week he went full. Last week he started actually stepping on the practice court Thursday of last week. He went about 20 minutes. Friday, not as much because he was a little bit sore, and I tried to play him on Saturday, but you know that we knew right away he was not ready to go. And then Monday and Tuesday of this week, he actually went pretty good. He went kind of regular, but it's still, you're talking about, you know, he's still a lot of rhythm to get going. He's in a little bit different role than he was in before, so that takes a little bit getting used to probably. But the more we get him back to being the Cobbins, then that just really gives us a little bit more freedom to, you know, really be a little more aggressive. We're not being as aggressive as I would like at this point because we're still a little bit thin and playing some guys some really long minutes. But we got to get him back in the flow. We got to get Kirby Gardner going because we got some guys playing some heavy minutes.
You were very active today on Twitter trying to get people out to the game. Better crowd. I'm sure you'd like to continue to see that go up, and a good turnout by the students.
Oh, absolutely. You know, again, we came out of a game at Virginia Tech where it was just wow. I mean, it was very impressive what I saw at Virginia Tech. Their student section and their crowd period was unbelievable, and it made a difference for their team. And their players after the game commented on it. And you know, and I kind of thought down there that might have been one of the differences because we led most of, you know, half the time, and they just kept hanging around, and boy, it got loud in there a couple times. And you know, on the way back on the plane, I just, you know, we do a lot of things to try to get the fans, but I said, you know, I'm going to make the commitment. There's not going to be an excuse. I don't want to hear that I don't get out. So I spent the last 2 days in the student union passing out flyers. So did Marcus Smart. So did LeBron Nash. We did a lot of things the last 2 days to try to give, especially the students, an opportunity to get in this game. And I thought they responded very, very well. Very well. They were here early. They were loud. And that's something hopefully they enjoy. It wasn't probably the most exciting game to watch, but at least hopefully they enjoyed watching us win. And hopefully we can continue to get some fans at the game. You know, we're a top 25 team at this point, and you know, 6-1, and you know, hopefully you know, we can start packing this place out. I know it would really help. There's no question it'll help. We got one of the best arenas in the country.
You said last night on your radio show you expect Brian Williams back in mid-January.
Did I say that?
Gosh.
I think Brian Williams will play this year. I do think that. Trainer, hope he's not listening, but we've just received really good news. He went back a week ago, and it was not completely. It was together. It was, as they said, over a month ahead of time. He's going to be getting out of his cast and the screws out here any day, and then it's a matter of strengthening in it. Period. You know, and I said, you know, maybe we can even throw a splint on him or something and get him out there. You know, again, you're talking about a young man that averaged 12 points a game, is our best defensive player on our team, really, and we're still looking for that guy to, you know, but he was a stopper for us, and you know. So we'll see. I don't know. He's out for a long. He's been out for such a long time. I don't know. I probably can get a little ahead of myself, but I'm very optimistic.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, very optimistic. So.
Do you say anything to LeBron after a game like this?
No, he didn't. You know, I just told John Hogan the best thing I saw was LB was smiling, having a good time in the locker room, congratulating Jurek, and you know, that to me was enough. I didn't need to say anything to him. No, it's one of those games, just, you know, one of those things. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow a little bit with him, you know, hey, just one of those games. It's hard to get in a flow in a game like that when you're in foul trouble. It's very difficult. And they did a good job defending him. They did do a good job. But just one of those games, one of those deals.
Pretty good point guard matchup.
It's a very good point. Their point guard is really good, really good. I mean, he controls a game. For a game that's played at the pace it's played in, that young man, you know, as we told our team, he attributes over 30 points a game to their team from points and assists. Over 30 points. Last game he attributed like 37 points for their team. He had 15 points, 17 points, I think 10 assists. Some of those assists were threes. So we knew the importance of trying to slow him down, and he's so crafty. And those guys that size have given us a little bit of problems. Marcus is so big, and and we do some switching things and gets LB on him a little bit. That's difficult, but it's a good challenge for him. It's a good challenge. But we've had a few troubles with those guys.
You mentioned your rebounding drills. Anything out of the ordinary or unusual that you guys did to get their attention?
We did some things to get their attention, and I was a little hesitant just because of the injury thing, but I just said, hey, forget it. Let's go after it. I even gave our guys talk about injury. Everybody's injured this time. I played half my career injured, so let's get after it, and hopefully we got our point across. Hopefully it's not just one game. We'll see next game, but it might be something that we just talked about as a staff before we came here, something we might do, not the drills we did every day, but something that we're going to have to emphasize it more and more and more and more just to keep their attention.
Markel and Marcus combined for 14 rebounds. That's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, especially Markel coming off a game he didn't get any. That was something that was discussed. We got big guards. We've given them, goal. We need to get up around. And we said, I didn't even say it. We need to get 40 or more rebounds a game somehow. Figure it out. I told our 3 guards, y'all, you 3, I'll give you some numbers. They add up to be a certain number now. You figure out how, maybe one get LB, you get a little bit more one game, and you get a little bit more one game, whatever it is, but this is a number you 3 need to come up with. And then 4s and 5s, giving them, something to think about. That's just, we just kind of started, I started that Monday. But it's an ongoing program. With that said, though, UC Davis was a very poor rebounding game. First half of the Akron game, we really dominated the glass. Second half, we didn't. Tennessee, we dominated the glass. NC State, we dominated the glass. Portland State came back and didn't rebound. We did against Portland State. I think we did against Portland State. We rebounded the ball. Virginia Tech, we didn't rebound the ball, and tonight we did. So it's not like we've just been a terrible rebounding team. That's what I told our team. It's like, once you show me you can do something, then I kind of expect it to continue to do it. So it's not like we're just bad and, all right, that's just it. Let's figure out something else to be great at. But we've proven against some good competition, 3 BCS schools right now that we've out-rebounded, we've shown that when our mind is right, and we're still a pretty young basketball team, when our mind is right and we're focused on something, then our guys, when I emphasize something, usually that's the thing they usually end up doing. But we kind of backtrack on other things that that's kind of, I think, how this team's operating right now.
What is that number for those 3 guys combined? You said you have a number for those.
I did. I think Marcus was 8. I think I got it written down. I think Marcus was 8, LB was 7, and Markel was 6, or whatever that equals. And I'm guessing right now, but it's somewhere along that line. So whatever that equals, it was 21, 22. I was going to say 21, 22 is what I remember telling them. Y'all need to come up with, you 3. Figure it out. Go, it'd be great. In the games they get 25, 26. I mean, that's when, and they're capable of doing that. Those 3 are capable of, we were talking about why is Marcus Smart leading us. I don't know if there's another point guard in the country leading their team in rebounding, but, he's a big physical guard. He never has to block anybody out. His man always gets back. So he goes in there and takes rebounds from other guys. A lot. We see that a lot on tape. So we've told our other guys, you want rebounds, you better take them from him. That's one thing you kind of want to be selfish with when it comes to rebounding. Go get the ball. And in the Virginia Tech game, we had so many balls hit our fingers that we didn't come up with. Virginia Tech game, they had 11 offensive rebounds. They scored on 10 of those. And about 3 of them were and ones. There's a difference in a basketball game, period. And we still, the way we shot the ball, was still down 3 with the ball, 51 seconds to go. And but there was lessons to be learned, and they kind of responded to that. We'll see.